Guys, today I am going to talk about the pullback we had yesterday. Why did we see it? I'm also going to talk about why we're seeing such a big and nice bounce towards the upside. I'm going to talk about Ethereum and traditional markets and what the next major move is going to be for Bitcoin. Because right now, everything is lining up here, guys. So make sure to stick around from the beginning until the end of this video. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Chris, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. If you are new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. So let's get straight into it, guys. And what you can see here is that yesterday, actually, it was yesterday here at lunchtime, we did have a big push towards the upside. So we made a high here at 71,800, okay? So if we look at this on like the hourly time frame, you can see that this looks pretty insane. Like after going sideways, we make a new push for Bitcoin up to 71,800 and then straight down to 68,400. So how come we saw this volatility right here? Because during this push, this was just Bitcoin being bullish in my opinion. But then why we saw this pullback is because there was a report or a ruling from the judge in the Coinbase versus SEC case, which stated that, they can move forward with the case. I'm going to get to this here in a little bit. But that is why you saw this volatility to the downside, because you saw that lawsuit come out, or you saw that judge ruling come out. And then we went down here. We had a little bit of a drama going sideways, but now we're seeing such a big and nice bounce towards the upside. So in my opinion, right now, I'm just waiting for Bitcoin, honestly, to break through. We already broke through the $70,000 level right here. I'm just waiting for it to break through the $72,000 level. I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And then at that point, we do have, of course, the next major target is going to be $83,000. But of course, somewhere along the line here, we will most likely find some kind of resistance as well. But this is the next major move at 83, which I do think we're going to reach sooner rather than later as well. But first things first, we need to break through $72,000. Now, let me show you the traditional markets. So the traditional markets are also pretty much at all-time highs right now. So this is good for Bitcoin as well. Also, if you look at the flows from the ETF, you can see that after having 5 red days in net inflow, they have, or net outflow, where they have been red, you can see that we had one positive day on the 25th, one very positive day, the 26th, and yesterday we also had a positive day. So yeah, inflows are starting to come back into the spot Bitcoin ETFs, which are absolutely fine. Now, Larry Fink went on an interview yesterday and said that he's very bullish on Bitcoin and crypto. And look at this. He also said, I am pleasantly surprised and would never have predicted before we filed it that we would see this kind of retail demand. So this just goes to show that there has been so much money on the sidelines just waiting for the spot Bitcoin ETF to be approved in order to invest into it. So they're seeing a lot of demand. And here is the important thing in regards to this. This will make them really want to launch the Ethereum ETF because they want to do the same thing for Ethereum. And now we did have a ruling come out yesterday by the judge. So what was that? Well, Coinbase lost the motion of dismiss to the SEC lawsuit. Basically, Coinbase was saying there is no case here, do not sue us, you're not going to have a case. So it was with a couple of different things. The first one is that it was regarding their wallet. So it was regarding if their wallet was actually doing something fishy and if it should be considered a broker. So they actually ruled in favor of Coinbase for this particular one. And this is huge because this means that DeFi and ledgers and all of these providers, which provides wallets, they are not going to be ruled as brokers. So that is absolutely fine. Now, where Coinbase lost this motion is in regards to their staking program and some other things as well. That is that the exchange itself, not the wallet, but the exchange itself could be an unregistered broker exchange and clearinghouse. So that is what they're going to go to trial with right now to bring forward to the court and see who is going to win here. But overall, this created a bit of panic. We saw this pullback for Bitcoin, but then people started to realize, hey, maybe it's not as bad actually as it could be on the headlines, because obviously when you see the headline that the SEC has progress in their lawsuit against Coinbase. It's taken negatively, so price went down, but then people started to read up on it, and they specifically also saw this news that their wallet, that they kind of made progress, Coinbase made progress in their case that their wallet should not be accounted as an unregistered broker. So that was pretty nice still. So nothing to be too worried about. Of course, Ethereum, because you know that the SEC are really trying to go after Ethereum. And when this lawsuit, or when the news about the lawsuit came out, you did see a big drop for Ethereum and then a big bounce here as well. In fact, we are right now sitting for Ethereum close. This is actually on the daily time frame, but yeah, you see the drop right here. And interestingly, it was right below the resistance as well. But the drop came, and now we're seeing a nice bounce for Ethereum as well. So let's see what comes out of these lawsuit now against. Now this is going to be a trial, a lawsuit that is going to go in front of the judge, from what I understand. So let's see what happens with that. Overall, you can see that the wallets that have accumulated the most amount of Bitcoins recently is wallets between 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoins. So these are whales for sure. And you can see a big spike right here. So as the Bitcoin price went down, whales started to accumulate, and they are now sitting at much bigger bags when we're sitting at higher prices, obviously, because they accumulated at lower prices right here. So they were more or less driving also some of the pumps towards the upside as they started to accumulate more after having sold a little bit, actually moving into the top here. They sold a little bit, but started to accumulate right here at the bottom at $62,000. They started to accumulate more, and then you can see the jumps going up here. So whales have been accumulating more Bitcoin throughout this volatility that we've been seeing here recently, and especially at the lower prices. So in regards to the SEC's case against Coinbase, what happens if the SEC actually manages to label Ethereum as a security? What does that mean for the spot Ethereum ETFs? Well, BlackRock's CEO came out and said he thinks they could start a spot Ethereum ETF even if the SEC labels Ethereum as security. So that was pretty cool to hear. I guess it's just going to take more paperwork. It's going to take some more, it's going to be a little bit more complicated. But according to Larry Fink, they will still, and they could still launch a spot Ethereum ETF, even if it is labeled as a security. So that is at least something to keep in mind. Now, here is one thing I want to leave you with, guys. This is very important because I have been talking about the US being in massive debt, right? And not only being in massive debt, we already know this. But with the current interest rates, you can see that they are spending so much just on the debt alone in interest payments, and also they're spending so much in general that their debt is increasing because their only solution is to print more money. Now, look at this, guys. Since the 1800s, there have been 52 countries that saw a debt to GDP ratio above 130. 51 of those countries have defaulted. So what is debt to GDP ratio? It is basically how much debt you have to the GDP you're creating. So I already talked about the US having a very high debt to GDP ratio. I talked about that, I think, in 2 videos ago. Now, currently, the US has a debt to GDP ratio of 124. And again, every country, no, sorry, not every country, out of 52 countries, 51 have defaulted. They have gone bankrupt as governments, as countries, when they have gone above 130. We are very close to it right now for the US, guys, 124. So what does this mean in general? It means that the US have to stop spending, which they're most likely not going to do because, this is a train that cannot be stopped. They're just spending too much money. But we also know that the interest rates payments are a big factor in the debt that they are creating. So they will have to cut interest rates, guys. There's no getting around that. They will have to cut interest rates, or else, the statistics speaks a very clear picture. 51 out of 52 countries have defaulted. The US do not want to default. So they will have to cut interest rates, which will mean bigger pumps for your bags, guys. It's as easy as that. Also, the US actually approved a $1.2 trillion budget, which is uncapped. It's crazy. Uncapped debt ceiling for 2025. So how is this sustainable? Well, it really isn't. And guys, that is what I got for you in today's video. Thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you guys in the next one.